Now, I have a quote here
Yeah.
from you.
Okay.
During your time at the Tigers,
Yep.
which I've read in the media, I spent a lot of time dealing with men at very senior levels of the game who probably would have rather not have had to deal with me, quite frankly. I'm quite vocal about my views, and it's a sport that is desperately in need of the sort of culture that diversity brings.
Yes.
How do
I'd
you...
said that, yep.
Yep. Being vocal as a woman in a typically male-dominated environment is, it's challenging, and not everybody can do it. How did you stand up, and how did you feel the confidence to do that and then deal with the reaction?
Well, I think one of the things that that every director and certainly board chair needs to sign up for, really needs to commit to, is to speak out when you don't believe in things that are being said or that are happening. So the last thing that you should do is go along with the flow. Okay, until of course a decision's taken around a board table that everyone has to join up to. But if you disagree with the starting point, you have to debate it. And I take the role seriously. So my view has always been, if I disagree, and I disagreed many times, and so it wasn't really just around the board table with my own board. I mean, yes, there were times when we debated issues. That was certainly right, but that particular quote refers to the sport. So there were many times when I was involved in chairman's meetings. So the 16 club chairs would get together. And we would have meetings together and with the NRL, and there were many occasions when I disagreed with a course of action or the way we were treating a very serious issue, which I thought was reputationally damaging for the whole of game. And so my principle is always that you need to take a whole of club when you chair a club, whole of club. But if you're part of something bigger, or as the chair, I got to be part of the broader decision making of the sport. And so it was in my best interest, but also the best interest of the game, to ensure that the sport was in a better place in the future. So I always took a whole of sport, and there's a lot of self-interest in sport, not just rugby league, but in sport in general. And I spoke out against that, sometimes to my public detriment, because what would happen is some of the guys who didn't like what I had to say in the room wouldn't actually speak, because there's not a lot of courage always with men, let me tell you. But so they would throw bombs through the media. So I would read about their views through the media, and of course anonymously, because people don't have courage.